Ah, there we go. It's working. Hi, guys. Make sure I have my volume down here. There we go. All right. It was not letting me get online there for a minute, and I was getting a little nervous. So that was fun. But it's okay now. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine, as we say. Tara and Jason, what is going on, my lovelies? Greg, what's up? Howdy, howdy. David Glunt. Hello, hello. What's happening? What's happening? Hi guys, welcome. Welcome in. I know. Miss you too. But I keep thinking like I'm gonna see everybody in May, and that's not that far away. Like the way this year is going so fast, with the exception of January and February, both feel like they've been 47 years long. I literally was talking to my friend Beth today and I said something because we have Bunko once a month. And we break for summer, but we have Bunko once a month. And I just hosted it on February 10th, which was only a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, I panicked thinking we had Bunko this coming Monday because I don't know why. And I was like, I whipped out my phone and I was looking for it. And I was like, she's like, we just had Bunko. And I was like, no, that was like a month ago, I swear. And she was like, yeah, we did it February 10th. I'm like, I know, it was at my house. I'm like, but it feels like it was longer ago. So I don't know. Time lately has been weird. Auntie Anne, there she is. No, you're fine. You're never late. You're just you're making an entrance. That's what it is. I was actually going to text you because normally if you're sick or you're not going to be there, you let me know. And so I was like, oh, she's not here. That's not normal. I better text. I was just going to text you and be like, are you alive? Make sure everything was okay. Not that you're like contractually obligated to be here, but I notice when you're not, you know, like rep your state. Let her know where you come from. Aloha from Maui, Hawaii. There you go, country. Country 808. I love it. I've never been to Hawaii. I've never been. I've heard good things, mostly. So, well, David, I don't know what to tell you. This is when we do our lives, it's a chatting live. It's not a like, hey, we're going to go build something now. Those are in our edited videos, which we just posted one yesterday. So maybe if a live is not for you, then I tried something new for a dinner side and it took forever and it made a giant mess. What was it? I'm curious now. Ain't got no gas in it. That's right, out and about. That's right. Everybody driving into that dirty 4-letter word that keeps the lights on. That's funny, Glenn. Ah. Heartland HQ with Dink and Tank. What's going on? Howdy, howdy. I'm curious what you tried to make. Now, I made gumbo today for the first time, but I had to do a slightly bastardized version because a couple of the ingredients that I thought I had, I did not have. I thought I had bay leaves. I would have bet money that I had bay leaves. Did not. But that's okay. And then I thought that we had frozen okra that we had harvested from our garden. And we do, but he had put flour on it so that he can fry it. He does these like little medallions. And so I was like, well, I don't want to waste those. And those were the only ones I could find. So the gumbo doesn't have any okra in it. But Mike had 2 bowls today and he said it was really good. So I made the roux. I mean, it took me a couple hours to make it, you know. What is Bunko? Oh my goodness, Tara. Bunko is a game. This is how, so you know my cat, Mr. Bunko. So my first time playing Bunko, our group plays in a group of 8, and you have 4 people at each table. And it is a game with dice. And you get 2, and you get a little scorecard, and you basically, each person rolls. You roll, and if you get a 6, that's a point. So if you roll a 6, you get a point. If you roll 2 6s, you get 5 points. If you roll 3 6s, that's called big bunko, and that round is over. So if you roll it on the first try, that round is over and you win that round, right? And then anyway, you play, and it's a 0 skill, and you go try to go as fast as you can and hold a conversation at the same time. It's fun, and it's a nice group of ladies that I play with. Anyway, they had a vacancy that opened up after I filled in 1 month, shortly after I moved here, and that's how I got Mr. Bunko. I was the biggest loser that night, and this cat had showed up on the host's house because we all take turns hosting. And I just fell in love with him. And she had jokingly said, like, "Oh, he's going to be the winner, like the prize tonight." And I was like, "Oh, I know I'm not going to win." Like, and she's like, "Well, we'll make it the best loser prize since it's your first time." Because, there's a learning curve a little bit. And anyway, so I ended up being the biggest loser that night and winning Bunko. So that's why we have my little orange pumpkin loaf because I got him at Bunko. And he was a baby when I got him. He was only a couple months old. So I've had him pretty much his whole life. So, and I love playing Bunko. It's fun. It's a fun night. We always have a good time. And whoever hosts like cooks, and it's like a whole thing. And the kids, your whoever's house it's at is like they kick their husbands out, they kick their kids out, and it's just us girls there. Except for last time when I hosted, it was a mess. My husband was working in his office. Frankie had her boyfriend over. It was like it was a whole thing, but it was fine. It was fine. It was fine. So that's Bunko. Oh, you did keto carnivore mozzarella sticks. The batter turned into concrete. Huge, huge mess. Oh no. Sorry to hear that. I wouldn't even begin to think how you could make like appropriate batter with not using things that you would typically use in batter. But I guess you could do like an egg dredge, and then like they used to make this stuff called quinoa flakes. And I have not found it in years. I used to use it a lot for breading chicken and like making tacos with it. And it's expensive. And it got more expensive, which is one of the reasons why I stopped using it. But I haven't seen it in 100 years. So who knows? Ace, what's going on? I know. So my sipping and spilling did end abruptly, and I'll tell you why. And that was my second recording of it. And I was very frustrated at that point, and I watched the last 30 seconds and I was like, good enough. It kind of ended. I didn't do my normal sign off, but it was kind of, you know. Um I typically so we have a GoPro. I can't get my GoPro to talk to my computer. I cannot get it to talk to my software. I have tried all the things and I gave up on it when we bought our new GoPro. When we had the GoPro that we gave to DD5 a couple years ago, that one, no problems. I could use it. That was what I used to film everything with, and I could offload and use the footage, no issues. We got this new one and it won't work for my computer. I cannot make it happy. So I have been using my iPhone to film pretty much everything. I have gone through and wiped everything off of my phone that is unnecessary. I've gone through the cache. I delete every text message. I delete every picture message somebody sends me. I mean, I offload everything and delete everything like crazy, right? And ironically enough, one of the few apps that I have on my phone is the YouTube Studio app, which takes up like 640 something. It takes up like the most space of anything on my phone. And there's something else that's taking up space on my phone. And I did a deep dive yesterday on the interwebs and cannot figure out what it is, because when you look at your little, how you see that bar graph where it says this much is photos and this much is email and this much is, right? It's this much in apps. And I'm like, I don't have like hardly any apps on my phone, right? Like ask Mike, every time we go to Home Depot, I have to re-download the app so we can use it, and then I take it back off. So I'm frustrated with it, and I cannot figure out why it keeps filling up, but it was literally filming and it cut off because it said it was full of space. And I'm like, I don't understand, because 6 months ago, this is what I think it's because I've had this phone for a while and it's doing that thing where it's like wants you to buy a new one. It's doing this thing where I used to have pages and pages and pages of old photos and some film clips and stuff on my phone, and I never bothered to clean it off, right? All of a sudden now I'll film 2 things and it's full. And I'm like, this doesn't track. And I'm diligent about deleting every email, deleting it, like downsizing everything on my phone. So it's frustrating. I can't with it. But anyway, that's why it cut off because all of a sudden it was like, no more space left on device. And I'm like, are you serious? And that was my second time recording it after I went through and then deleted a few more things and it still did it to me. So it's sucky. Big country, what's happening? That's right, Greg. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. I appreciate it. Me too. But even though the batter was way too thick, the taste was awesome. Oh, good. At least they turned out okay. You know. Charlene Grady, what's going on? What's going on? That's right, guys. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. I appreciate it. I do. Just take a second and hit that thumbs up. That's right. Avid Fisherman, what's going on? Mike Birch, Daniel Tucker, hello. Bear with me, guys. I have my contacts in, so I'm like on the screen today. Big Apple is watching me. They must be. I know. Mike was like, well, just buy a new camera that will work with your stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to go out and spend the money, money we don't have to go, to go buy, and my laptop is being held together by a clip right now. So it's fun. It's fun. Good times. It's good times. So anyway, I'm trying to figure that out. I need to call the repair place to see if I can fix this because I'd like to be able to take it with me when we go to the meetup in May so that I can offload footage and maybe even crank out a video in between over the weekend, like I did last year. But if it's held together by a chip clip, I'm not going to fold it and try to travel with it for risking my screen breaking apart. So Billy Tyson, better late than never. It's all good. Lonely Hitchhiker Kent, what's happening? I'm telling you. Kent, hello. That's right. Turn that like button up to 11. That's right. Spinal Tap. I love it. Yeah. So I don't want to have to buy a new camera. I am eligible to, this is what I'm thinking I might want to do, which may seem counterproductive to some, but so I have my Rode microphones, my fancy, expensive Rode microphones that I bought last year, which I have the cable and I use it with my phone. Works great. I'm thinking what I might do. My phone is old and eligible, and there's better cameras on the phones now, is eligible for an upgrade. So I'm thinking what I might do is, and I don't have to do a trade-in with them, is upgrade my phone and not use that phone for filming, or yeah, I would have to, I don't know. I just have to work out the logistics, but like wipe this phone basically, and then I would have a lot more space on it, like completely gut. So I don't know. I have to figure out how to do that, but that's an option that I've been kicking around, but I need to figure it out because it's becoming a problem, and it's definitely going to be a problem when we go like to the meetup where you're filming a ton and you don't necessarily have the ability to like offload it really quick. So there's that. What you gonna do? Two old people on a couch. Mark and Debbie, what's crack-a-lackin'? Long time no see. Bunko needs a new iPhone. I know he does. Sometimes he wants to text me. He's all thumbs though, I'm telling you. Cuddly texting, what's happening? He can't tag. He's at work, so no tagging. Gotcha. Ooh, ooh, it's Patrick. He's in the house. I'm telling you. It is an iPhone. I do have an iPhone. Yeah, it is an iPhone. And I used to always have Samsung, like back in the day. And then at some point I switched over and I don't know why. I don't remember why or when. It was sometime after Frankie was born. Because I remember when I had Frankie, I still had my pink Razor phone from Motorola that was under uh, Samsung, I think, or whatever it was. I don't know what those were under. I don't remember. But anyway, way back in the day. And then this phone's probably 4, 5 years old, I want to say. So I'm pretty sure I got this phone during COVID. So it was like 2020. So it's like 4 or 5 years old. So somewhere in that range. So Brian, what's happening? What's happening? I have not gotten my birds. So the update on everything, Mike actually got a lot more done in the brooder. Um, and I haven't even spilled these beans on Sippin' and Spillin' yet because I didn't get a chance to film one today because I was at church all afternoon and making gumbo this morning for them to eat. So, I got the email this morning that my shipment of birds that was supposed to ship out on February, what was it supposed to ship out on? February something. I think it was the week of the 17th. So it was supposed to ship out last week, right? I feel like that's right. I got the notice that they're shipping out next week. So the week of the 3rd of March. Cool. Fine. So basically what I'm doing is Mike and I talked about it, and I had 3 shipments of birds scheduled, spaced out accordingly so that like I get one group out of the brooder and out onto the pasture, next one out of the brooder onto the pasture while we're processing those, like, and just to be able to keep everybody rolling and then not have birds either in the brooder or in the pasture when it's time for us to leave to go for the meetup. Just because, granted, that's only a couple days, or at least definitely not by, I'm sorry, I take that back, not by the meetup, by July when we go to Tim's. So we would be totally done with all the birds by then. Well, with this being pushed out, my second shipment of birds was supposed to come March 24th. So we talked about it, and he was like, I said I could move them up a week or move them back a week and like move our shipments out accordingly a week or two to like give us that time, but that's going to put us behind a little bit. So what we decided to do was try that. Well, I tried to adjust it, but they didn't have the availability for the weeks that we wanted. So the only thing that was available was like June 23rd. And I was like, well, that's not going to work. So what we decided to do was go ahead and cancel the second shipment to give us more time to get everything done. So we'll have birds coming next week, and then we won't have birds again until, and I get my laying hens with them. I ordered 6 Australops, 6 more Australops. So I'll have my Australops and I'll have my meat chickens. And then the end of April, we're going to be getting rid of all our Muscovy ducks. We're going to process them all out. I know I've got one sitting on a clutch right now, so I'll sell those ducklings this spring. Well, it'll be before spring, but soon. I think she's probably got I think she's been sitting for about 2 weeks. She was hiding, so I only just found her. But I think she's been sitting for about 2 weeks. And I haven't candled the eggs because they're outside and whatever. Anyway, because none of my girls can lay in the coop like normal human beings. But anyway, long story short, I'll just sell those ducklings locally, or at least try to, and see what happens. And if not, I'll just get them to the point where they're just big enough to process, and then we'll just process them, and we'll have young petite duck. But we're getting rid of the Muscovies for a couple of reasons. They tend to be, I find when I get birds from a hatchery, they tend to be a little bit more feral. They're not as friendly or docile as the ones that I've gotten from breeders. Even when I've hatched out a hatchery's birds, and there's no rhyme or reason to this. I have no science behind this at all, other than just, I guess, basic breeding. They're not bred for those traits that maybe a home breeder or a small farm would breed for. They're only bred for, what's going to make shipment, basically. But anyway, so long story short, those are all going to get processed. All the Muscovies we have will get processed. And so that, because they're really hard for me to catch them and to clip their wings. And even the ones that I have clipped their wings, they've figured out how to get over the netting of the electric fence. And so then they end up out in the thing. And anyway, in order to preserve Mike's garden that's about to be happening again, we're just going to ixnay those ducks. I really love duck eggs, right? So we talked about like a flightless duck, basically. So I've got a few runners coming. So I'll have them for eggs because I love baking and cooking and eating duck eggs. Like I love them. Um, Frankie and Mike don't. They say they can't tell the difference. They don't care. To me, it's like night and day. But anyway, so I've got some that are coming that are the runner ducks, the Indian runner ducks, some people call them. They lay a decent amount of eggs, not as much as like a khaki Campbell or something like that, but they have a lot of the qualities that I like of Muscovy as far as not being quite as loud and being more of a bush duck in that sense. But they lay more than Muscovies by quite a bit. I forget what the actual number was. I want to say it was like somewhere between 100 and 200. Call it 150. I don't remember. Which is way more than Muscovies. I think Muscovies, like, if I'm lucky, I probably get, like maybe 70 eggs out of a hen, maybe. So, you know, anyway, so I got them coming. And then we'll be able to process all the Muscovies out sometime between now and then and send them to winter camp. Maybe I can talk Mike into making some more of the cured duck breast because it's so good. It's a lot of work for him, I know, but it's so good, and he's so good at making the cured meats. I might twist his arm, especially since we don't have pigs right now. He's not curing. Well, those are wet cures, but like these are dry cures when he does the duck breasts and stuff. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's what's happening. So that's the saga with that. But he did get part of the walls up. The electrical is all but done. He did decide to switch it up. A major bean spilling here tonight, guys. Holy cow. I didn't realize I hadn't talked to you guys about all this because I didn't get a chance to film a sipping and spilling since all this happened. So it's been go, go, go. So he decided not to go with a tin roof on the brooder because a couple reasons. Frankie's already done a tin roof. Like she and Mike built that chicken coop that's out there, and they did the tin roof on that. So she's already done that. And we'll probably do more of that on other things at some point. But he was like, I really want to teach her how to do like I don't know, is it still called a shingle? I think it's still called shingles. Michael, correct me if he comes out here. But I bought the tar stuff at the thing that's the gritty, like a roofing material stuff that comes in the sheets. I don't know if you still call that a shingle. Maybe you do. I don't know. I just handed the guy the paper that Mike wrote down what he needed. Anyway, so he is gonna teach her how to do that. So that's why we went with that. So anyway, that's that whole saga journey, whatever. Empty Homestead, what's going on? What's happening? We have bad weather coming back in next week. I hope Mike gets the coop fixed for you. I know he was trying as hard as he is. He's been working really hard on it. And in between the last 2 nights, he was working on getting his seed starts done. He started some of them last week. No, I don't know. It was several nights ago, and they were already germinating. So he had to get the lights going for them last night. His brassicas and his cabbage and something else I don't remember that were all coming up. So it's all good. It's all good in the hood, you know. Big Mike's battle buddy. That's right. Um, I know, no more bad weather. I'm over it. I know today was like a nice sunny day and I didn't get to be outside and enjoy it, and I'm sad. But I think Friday is supposed to be nice too. And I am carving out, I'm putting it out into the universe now. I'm carving out like 2 hours to just lay outside in the sun and like enjoy it. It has to happen. I need some vitamin D, like desperately from the sunshine. I need it, or I get cranky. I love runner ducks. They are so funny. I know, they're so cute. They're so cute, and they're supposed to be decent at like kind of keeping some of the pests at bay as far as like the bugs that they'll eat. So we'll see how they do. I am too, but I'm praying we don't get it. Where exactly are you at, Kent? Because I know I'm not scheduled for any bad weather in the next week, so I don't know. Chicken eggs, duck eggs, doesn't matter. Won't eat it. Don't matter. I'll eat it. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, Frankie doesn't like turkey eggs. She won't eat them. If she knows, like if I separate them, if I mix them in with the chicken eggs and she does, because she can't tell by looking at them most of the time. I can. They're easy to tell they're speckled. So she won't eat them. I think it's because, and my theory behind this is because we had Muscovies, we had midget whites turkeys when she was younger, like when we first moved to Ramona and started doing turkeys, and she used to see the turkeys mate all the time, and she was like 5. And so, and she knew what was happening, right? Because when you're a little kid on a farm, you tend to learn the birds and bees, like, because it's in front of you all the time, right? And so she knew what was happening and what was in that egg. And so she was like, I don't want to eat that. So now in her head, she's like, I don't eat turkey eggs. And she won't drink the goat's milk. She'll sometimes eat the cheese if like I don't tell her ahead of time. But it's in her head. It's nothing, the actual like taste of it. It's just in her head. So we had Indian running ducks. They were a mess for sure. No ducks ever again. Well, we'll see. If not, we'll eat them. We'll see. Coming in late, child and the cat had a mishap, and I'm not even going to ask who scratched who first. Oh no. That's no good, Shiloh Acres. That's never good. I need my glasses on. I'm all just sitting here squinting at the screen. I just cannot see for the life of me. Plus, I think my glasses are dirty. That doesn't help either. But hey, what are you gonna do? Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Shingles. They have a vaccine for that. I really like turkey eggs. They're somewhere between duck eggs and chicken eggs. Yeah, turkey eggs to me they're a little bit more. I would describe them as runnier when you crack them. Like I would describe them as runnier. Um, and I would say duck eggs are a lot richer, like they're butterier, and the yolks are much more dense, and the whites are more mucousy, which sounds terrible with that phrasing, but I promise you they're amazing. And then last year, because I knew that I didn't have any fertile geese eggs, I ate all my goose eggs because I didn't have a boy because of the shipping mishap. So I ate all the goose eggs and they were really good. Um, Similar to a duck egg, but I would say like a duck egg on steroids, really good. Um, and obviously, like, you know, I never did try any of my peafowl's egg when I had peafowl because I was constantly they have so few. I was always trying to hatch them out, and they're really hard to hatch out. So I had struggles with that. So I never ate any of those. But yeah, and then of course quail eggs or whatever. But I guess those are really the only eggs that I've ever had, which I guess is more than the average person. Most people probably never try a goose egg because they're not like you can go buy them at the store, because they don't lay very many in a year. So you usually try to use them for, hatching more birds out typically. Because, well, it's not that he doesn't want them in there. I mean, like, it's just kind of like the pond is in the horse area. So it's not where the birds are. So I just use a kiddie pool because then I can keep it clean. Um, so, and it works just peachy keen, jelly bean. So I don't know. Somehow this just skipped a bunch, and that was weird. There we go. Asphalt shingles. Yeah, maybe that roll roofing. Maybe that was it. It's something like that. Sorry, you guys. I got way behind on comments. I don't even know what happened there. Um, I'm not sure. You never know with me. Hopefully, Mike got those pepper plants started too. Got to get them in. I think he did. I think he did. He's been starting like crazy, crazy, getting all his seeds going, all that good stuff. I need my son also. I'm waiting. I know, rock. I know. I'm like, it killed me today. I was like, it's perfect outside, and I am not outside right now. I was mad at it. Down on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Okay, gotcha. Well, hopefully that's like hurricane territory right there. It's one of the reasons why we moved north and not south. Poor young Frankie, scarred at an early age. Yes. Some geese are jerks. Yes. Sebastopol's are not. My Roman tufted is not. He does get a little bit more at breeding season time. He's bless him. So he has not mated with the Sebastopol geese. My male Benedict that I have has mated with them. But he hangs out with them, but he does not mate with them. He has one duck hen that he is in love with. And anytime the drake tries to go near that duck hen, he pulls the drake off of her and he's had his way with her. So, it's cool. Like, whatever. I don't know what's going to happen with that. It's just, it could be the one that's incubating the eggs right now. I have no idea. But, well, I'm not worried about it because I'm not trying to sell them or anything. But, um, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, when you know what it is like when you're a kid and you grow up around animals that are breeding, like you're gonna see that stuff, So I never had to like sit her down and have like like a real like let me tell you the mysteries of the birds and the bees. Like she already kind of knew. Like I filled in some blanks for her, but and went over some more human anatomy. But like for the most part, like she knew from a very young age that like that's what happens. So, you know. Maybe. Well, I used to have a pool. I don't have a pool anymore. So, I mean, I used to spend a lot of time by the pool and that was like my standard uniform, but now I don't have a pool. So, I could have purchased ostrich eggs from a nearby farm. All I kept thinking is what an omelet that would be. See, and here me, I would be trying to incubate it to hatch one out. But back to good. What's happening, lady? My uncle works at the Kansas City Zoo. He would bring home ostrich eggs. He said they tasted good. Oh, I bet they do. I've heard good things. Ostrich and emu eggs. Um, but again, they lay so few eggs that unless you really like don't have a male with them and you're not trying to breed them and hatch out a bird, it's like you don't want to eat that. And that was like literally the only reason why I ate the goose eggs last year was because I knew for a fact they were not. There was no chance I was getting a baby out of them, you know. But my geese aren't jerks, cuddly. Although Roderick right now, my Roman tufted, he's a little bit more like if I come in there, he'll come up to me talking big game, but he doesn't do anything. And I just reach over and pet him, and he's like, "Wah, wah, wah, wah." I'm like, you're fine, calm down. I'm like, simmer down. It's all good. It's all good. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing or a goose wing, I guess. I don't know. I just love geese because they like the flightless geese because they run at you with their arms open when they get excited to see you. And it's the cutest thing. It looks like they're running up to give you a hug and while they're squawking at you. And it's just, I think it's adorable. But I'm a total bird nut. So there's that. But yeah, I love them. They're fun. So I'm excited to have babies next week coming in. Very excited about that. I cannot wait. I feel like it's been a minute since we've had babies. I like babies. Yeah, I mean, I miss my peafowl. I would love to have peafowl again, but I think, and I know we've talked about this before, people don't like the sound they make. I think it is one of the most beautiful sounds of nature is a peacock call. I absolutely love it. Now, when they're juveniles, that first couple years, they do make this weird kind of honking noise. It's a little bit like their voice is cracking until they find their voice and they reach maturity. And it takes them a couple of years to do that because they live a long time. So they have like a juvenile period where it's like 1 to 3 years where and usually around the close to the 1 year mark, they start this honking thing that they do that I cannot duplicate, but it sounds like somebody, those like horns on a old school bike, it sounds like if somebody cut one and like tried to, it's just weird. It's a weird sound. But when they get older and they develop and they're mature and they have their beautiful tail and like they're amazing. I love them. I just love peafowl. I think they're a lot of fun. And they're always just by nature, they're a little bit cagier. The one that I hatched out from my birds, she was more chill. And I made sure and handle her every day when she was a pea chick. And then she was still kind of standoffish with me, but she would come up and eat out of my hand where the other ones I had to put it down for them. So, you know, I love the peacock call as well. Of course, I never had them where I live, so I might not like it like it then. It's I don't know. I mean, when I had them, I mean, we had the one here for a little while, for a couple, and then we had the the couple when we lived, in Ramona, and it was right out of our, back window, and here it was right out of our back window. It didn't bother me. So I don't know, I love the sound they make. I think it's so pretty, and they're such beautiful birds. They really, they don't serve a whole lot of purpose. They will eat your bugs just like a lot of birds do, and they will, like, if they're out and about, they will go after snakes. Um, but you could use them for meat, but they're so hard to breed that you don't really want to use them for meat. They're so beautiful. You can't really use them for eggs. So they're really, more ornamental, but I love them. I would love to have them again at some point. Someday I will. I'll get them again. The peacocks sound like someone yelling for help. See, I don't think so. And I told you guys, I think this, like, I associate peacock calls, I think, with like happy memories from my childhood of like being at the zoo in San Diego, because they used to have these, like, basically wild ones that would walk around the park, and they lived there, and they just procreated and stayed at the park. So you'd be walking around and you'd see a full peacock on display just walking down the main road along with tourists. And sometimes you'd see the pea chicks with them, with the hen, so like it was just a whole thing, and you'd hear their call echoing throughout the park, and it was beautiful. And it's just a good memory, I guess. I just love the sound. I love the sound. State police were called to a neighbor's house because someone thought they're screaming. Oh, I think it says PayPal, but I think it was supposed to be PayPal. Was a woman in distress. It was nuts, but funny. That is funny. From birds, they do get into season rarely and for a real short time, and they are really expensive. Yeah, I think, I mean, they were easier to come by probably in California, so I had gotten mine for probably like $50 a pop, which is pretty inexpensive. If you got like mature ones, because they take so long to mature, you could be looking at a few $100s. If you try to order for them from the hatchery, it's several $100s to get a juvenile shipped to you. They won't even ship the chicks because they don't want to risk the 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 chick not making it because they're so expensive. Um, so yeah, but I love them. I love them. Timmy, what's going on? Tim from Ridge Life is in the house. Did you get that fuzzy Ford back yet? It's capital R, Tim. That's right. How do your dogs interact with your chickens? So my inside dogs do really well with all the fowl, because half of them have been coming up into the back part of the yard. And when I take them out to go, they pay them no, never mind. They do. What is it about dogs that love to eat chicken poop though? They Every time they try to. Um, my two livestock guardian dogs are of course very used to them and have been around them. All of So the livestock guardian dogs, when I tried to take them into the coop, there's something about going in that gate that freaks them out, but they're fine with the birds. Like Rico was with them for a long time, my rooster, that we're pretty sure a fox got him because he had free reign and he would go sleep in there with them. Um, and and that was before they were big and really doing their job. Um, and he would try to play with Rico sometimes a little too rough. So he was a good learning bird for Kusi. And then what did I call her? Freebird, that was such a mean, nasty Rhode Island Red. She was picking on every single bird that I had. So I booted her out of the coop and was like, go live with Rico. And they buddied up together. And and did their own thing. But we had a real bad storm come through, and predators took advantage of it and took them out. So, but yeah, they do fine. They do fine with them. The geese are terrified of the dogs, though. Like, no lie. The turkeys don't care. Chickens don't care. The ducks don't care. The geese are terrified of the dogs. Absolutely, completely lose their ever-loving minds when they're near the dogs. Absolutely cannot handle it. So, do peacocks do peacocks rip the wiring out from under tractors like geese do? I imagine not, because peacocks like to be up high. They don't generally go under stuff. So, and they can jump really high without really even flying. I mean, they can fly, but they generally will just hop up. They can jump, like, they'll just jump up onto the top of your car, or jump up onto the top of your roof if it's low enough. So they're not big, like, how you have like your ground birds and then you have your air birds. These are like up high birds, and those are like down low birds. Like, I don't know how to like describe it, but that's kind of, so I don't imagine they would be really bad about that. But I've never like kept a peacock near a tractor really, so I don't know. We're coming for that plaque, Tim. Only 24 to 10K, then it's on. There you go. Look at that. I think we need to get White Rock to 10K. If you guys have not subscribed to White Rock yet and you're in this room, let's get him to 10K if we can tonight. I know we don't have a ton of people in here tonight, but if somebody would be so kind as to drop White Rock's link so people can go subscribe, that would be amazing. Be at 50K by the meetup. Look at you, Ridge Life. Look at you. I love it. 6 months in Tennessee killed our algorithm, so we're building back, trying to anyway. I know. Anytime you take a break, it's hard. And like for us, like we did not post consistently until like COVID hit. And that was right when I took over editing and filming. And so then I had a learning curve on top of that. So it was, well, that's not true. I started in that December taking over. And then so in March, what was everything locked down. So I had a few months prior to that, and then I was doing like a ton of videos a week. But before that, it was hit and miss. We'd have like a video go viral, and then we wouldn't post for 2 months. I was just weird. So there we go. Auntie Anne's got the link up. That's right. Let's see if we can't. Said you got us over our 1,000. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, I did. Look at that. Well, it's probably a lot of same people in this room, so don't get your hopes up that we get you to the 10K tonight, but we'll try. We'll try, Tara. We'll try. But yeah, if you trust me, if you don't know Tara and Jason, you should, because I adore them both. Tara, I absolutely love. And Jason's a cool dude, cool cat. My husband digs him. Can't say anything bad about either one of them, but I mean, I could try. I like a challenge. But anyway, if you don't know them, they're both delightful and funny and tough, and you should just go follow them because I say so. I don't know. I got nothing, but you should go click that and go sub. I'll go sub then unsub. Well, that doesn't work, big country. I'm telling you. Yeah, but let's see if we can't get them. They said they needed 24 more. Let's see if there's 24 people in here that aren't already subscribed to them, that we can knock them over the top there. We'll see. I look forward to seeing everyone at the Mid-America meetup. Yes, that's right. It's a fun time, guys. And actually, which they're not in here tonight, but they were in here last week. I'll talk about them for a second. Back to Good's going to be at the meetup. Nice. It'll be your first one. Right on. Who is faster than Auntie Anne? This guy. Oh, Lord, Patrick. Never going to live it down. Oh, that's right. Making you blush. I'll make you a margarita. That'll make you blush. I'll put some rosiness in your cheeks. It shows my link first. Oh, Lord. Now they're going to fight. Anyway, so I met I virtually met. I can't say I met them yet because I haven't met them yet in person. The Williamsons. They have a YouTube channel, the Williamsons. Um, I think it's actually I think the actual handle of the channel is the Williamsons Family Vlog, I think. Um, but the Williamsons. And they are in Alabama now. They moved from not Baltimore. Was it Baltimore? I think it was Baltimore. Can't remember. Anyway, to do more kind of homesteading stuff. They're still kind of in a suburban kind of area, but they're building garden boxes in the back, and they're doing what they can. And anyway, delightful couple, and Dwayne and Chantel. And anyway, I we had been commenting back and forth on each other's TikToks and followed each other on TikTok for, I don't know, probably the last 6 months at least. And last week they popped into my live and I said, hey, email me. I forget why. Had something to do with something. I forget why. It was something we were talking about. And I said, email me. And so she emailed me. And so we've been emailing all week. And I was telling them about the meetup in May, and I sent her the link for it. Anyway, they booked a room, and they're going to be there, and it's going to be their first meetup, and they're all excited. And I said, I hope I didn't oversell it um, by saying it's great. But anyway, so hopefully everyone gives them a warm welcome because they're newer to YouTube and to doing social media stuff, but they're trying to. Everybody has to start somewhere. And anyway, but they're very nice, and they're only about, I think they're about 3.5 hours, I think, from me. So anyway, make you one while you're at it. What am I making? Oh, a margarita. Gotcha. Ooh, I love a good amaretto sour. That was what I drank at my wedding reception. I had amaretto sours that night because they didn't stock the bar. That was when I was in my Malibu and Diet Coke phase when we first got married, and they didn't have Malibu, and so I had amaretto sours that night. So I always think of that as my wedding reception drink because that's what I drank that night. But yes, I do. I make a really good Long Island iced tea. Guys, I used to bartend, so I make a bitchin' margarita. I make an amazing Long Island iced tea. I make a really good Bloody Mary. Really good Bloody Mary. I mean, I can make anything, but those are the ones that I'm like, I know they're real standard drinks, but I make a good one. I make a good martini too, especially if you like it nice and dirty, dirty martini. Yeah, Auntie Anne just likes her peach flavored beer. her Southern peach. It's because she's such a peach. You are what you drink, right? There you go. I'll just take my white water with a Coke. There you go. I do like the Cutwaters, which are actually from that company. Cutwater started in San Diego. So we were one of the first ones to have them when they came out because they came out locally. Those things will knock you on your butt, but man, some of them are tasty, but I get a headache after one usually. Um, but my White Claws have never steered me wrong. I do like a White Claw, and then my Michelob Ultra if I'm just out and about because I can drink. I can be if all afternoon. I can have a bunch of beers, and I'm not gonna get stupid, you know. But if I do that with a pitcher of margaritas, I might get stupid, you know. Oh yeah, it's just the Jack Daniel coolers, Tara. Like the down home punch and whatever. One of the flavors is Southern Peach, and that's Auntie Anne's favorite. Like if you see her drinking at a meetup, that's what's in her hand, like guaranteed. And she usually won't have more than 3 at a time and a lot of times just like 2. But if you see her kicking back 3, you're gonna have a good time. Uh, I had a Long Island coffee over the weekend. It was really good. Have to be careful. Can't taste the alcohol. Oh yeah. See, everyone says that about Long Island iced teas, but I'm like, I can taste the alcohol. If you can't taste the alcohol, I don't know what's wrong with you. But Yeah. But what's really good is Liquor 43. Have any of y'all ever had Liquor 43? There is a like a Spanish coffee drink that you make with it that is like amazing. It's so good. It's called a I can never remember the name of it. Starts with a K. I'll look it up while we're talking because it's gonna bug me. And I'll probably pronounce it wrong because if memory serves, it's like an odd way of saying. I don't know, but it's good. And then you can mix it with um carajillo. It's a C, sorry. Carajillo. Really good. Um, it's amazing. It's a Spanish liqueur flavored with citrus and vanilla. So like if you mix it with orange juice, it tastes like an orange Julius or like a creamsicle pop, but like with a kick. It's so good. I'm telling you. I have a bottle of it over there. I it takes me like 2 years to go through a bottle, but like it's so good. But I don't drink a lot either. So there's that. But sometimes like a little shot of that and your coffee. So good. I got introduced to that when I went back home to visit San Diego. We went to one of my favorite restaurants down there. It's this Italian restaurant. The chef's from Milan. He's the owner, and he makes everything from scratch, like every single thing from scratch. And he goes down to the fish wharf every day and gets what's fresh, and like he's like old school. And I love him. And every time I go in there, it doesn't matter if it's 2 years in between when I was there last. He remembers me. We chat. Um, anyway, I was there with my girlfriends that night. I think there was like 5 of us at dinner. 4 of us, 5 of us, 4 of us at dinner. And we ordered like one of everything, and like we were splitting it family style, not one of everything, but like several different entrees and a couple appetizers and couple different drinks. And then my one friend was like, "You have like kind of like a Bailey's with coffee or something like with coffee. What do you got?" And he's like, "Oh, I'll make you a carajillo." And we were like, "Okay." And so she tasted it and she was like, "Holy moly!" And we all passed it around, and it was one of the best things I've ever tasted in my life. It was so good. It was delicious. It was delicious. I'm that way with Mad Dog 2020. My first drunk. I can't eat or drink anything grape flavored to this day. Oh, yeah. No bueno. No bueno. Yeah. See, I don't like Long Island iced teas. When I turned 21, I went out with my boyfriend at the time. Was the boyfriend right before Mike. And this was like, we were already like, I knew the end was coming, right? At my 21st birthday. But he didn't drink, and they all proceeded to order me like the worst drinks, like purple Hooter shooters, like which is like a grape flavored nasty. I took like one small sip of the shot, and I was like, no, thank you. I was so sober on my 21st birthday because everything I tasted was nasty, and I was like, this is gross. They gave me a Long Island. I was like, this is disgusting. I think I don't even know what I ended up drinking that night, but it was something like pretty benign. I think I probably just ended up having water. I didn't like anything that they kept handing me. I was like, these are terrible drinks. But it was also like a really crappy bar. So they were probably also just bad on top of things that I don't like. But I do make a good Long Island. I do know that. So the key is you got to put tequila in it. A lot of people don't put tequila in their Long Islands. You got to put tequila. Fight me on it, but I'm telling you, it's true. I need a lit and an absolute stress. Want to make me one? Sure. I don't know what an absolute stress is. Like an absolute vodka something? I don't know, stress part. Fuzzy navel, no, no. Yes, that's right. Couple minute warning. Couple minute warning. I know it. I know it. When I come back up your way, I will have to see if Mike likes watermelon, peach, coconut, or what isn't his favorite type of the homemade stuff. Oh, you're talking about like moonshine? He does not really partake in that. He really just sticks to beer. He'll have an occasional like whiskey that he likes at dinner, but he really just kind of he doesn't go for fruity stuff. That's not really his jam either. He likes like a nice bourbon occasionally, but he just basically sticks to beer. So 67, I've never had a drink. See, I'm Italian. I think I don't even remember my first drink. Like, I grew up having wine at dinner. Usually special occasions or big family dinners, you got a glass of wine. Like, if I wanted a beer, my dad would give me a beer. It was like not a thing. And as a result, I was always the DD for all my teenage friends. Like, cause I didn't need to go out and drink and sneak around behind my parents' back and be stupid, you know? So, I mean, there's something to be said for that, I think. You don't make it this big scary thing and they learn that, you know, it's just very normal. It's not a big deal. I can't stand anything that tastes like liquor. I mean, I don't mind, like, I do like occasionally I will have an old fashioned if I'm at the right kind of place, or I'll make them myself because I do like to make mine. I like to make mine with more. It's not a true old fashioned the way I make them. If I'm making it to like drink, I'll make like an old fashioned drink to sip on. So it's basically like, your orange juice, your maraschino cherry, I'm not muddling the bitters with the sugar cube and doing it like I would if I was having just you know, I'm making like a drink, like a poolside drink version. I like to make drinks that I can like sip on for a while, and like, anyway. So, because I used to do that too with, I really like that Stella Rosa wine, and I used to take that, mix it with like a sparkling flavored water that like complemented the wine, and I would fill up my big old jug and take it down. This when we lived where we had, it was like a housing development, and we had like a neighborhood pool, and I would head on down there with my jug and sip on that while we were there, you know. I am 2% Sardinian, not much, but I have a few traits of the Sardinian women. There you go. That's right. Absolute vodka, coconut rum, peach schnapps, cranberry juice, pineapple juice, and orange juice. Ah, we used to call that something else. I'm trying to remember what we used to call it. I can't think, but we did used to call that something else. Um, I've never heard that. Never heard it called that before. I'm trying to think. It was like a variation of like a sex on a beach, and there was another name for it. Oh, I can't think of it now. I've been out from behind the bar for too long. There you go. Grab anything peach when you run up to Missouri. There you go. A screwdriver kick. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a good old screwdriver. Or, a good old Harvey Wallbanger is highly underrated, I think, in my opinion. It's got that nice nutty flavor behind it. You know, um, honestly, I think that Liquor 43, it's got that nuttiness too with that vanilla undertone. It's really interesting. Like, I would probably be good in that too. I don't know. Just saying. Are you gonna break it to your hubby that he's gonna be the designated babysitter for the meetup? Isn't he always though for her? I mean, he dotes on her so well. I'm just saying, you know? Need to acres every now and then I enjoy a good screwdriver. There you go. Yeah. Why not? You know? I mean, sometimes you just have a nice little drinky poo, you know? Yeah, I used to make up a big old thing of like margaritas, and we'd have when we still had a pool, and everybody would come over to hang out, and we'd have margaritas and hang out for a while. It was fun, you know. That's right. I'm telling you. Prayers for you and Tim. Did something? Are you and Tim doing okay, Dana? Did I miss something? That's true. He does sit back and laugh at you quite a bit too, Auntie Anne. I'm telling you. Lots of material there. Lots of good material there. No doubt. Well, guys, my time is coming to an end. It is. It's true. Um, I know we've got DD5 coming up next at 7. And 8 o'clock, you got empty homestead. And then 9 o'clock, you got Brian at Vineyard Farmhouse. I don't know why I can't say that sometimes. I always want to say it backwards. And I don't know why I have to like stop myself and think about it almost every time. I do the same thing with DD5, which is why I just refer to them as DD5 because I want to say it backwards every time. Every time. Here at the hospital, coming up with ways to stay hydrated and cook for everybody tonight. Those enchiladas for all. Oh, I'm sorry, Dana. Nope, camera's off when the drinks start. That's right, Auntie Anne. Ah. Oh well, you'll be hard pressed not to imbibe at like the evening portion at least of the meetup because generally there's a fire going, there's people chatting, people hanging out, vibing. It'll be it's a whole vibe. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely keep you guys in our prayers for sure. I'm sorry that you're having to go through that. No, no good. That's right, guys. I'm out of here. That's true story. I'm out of here. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your night. Go give DD5 some love. They're up next, and then MT Homestead, and then Brian at Vineyard. So uh, next week, oh, I forgot to tell you guys, next week we will not be doing our live on Wednesday because it's Ash Wednesday and we'll be at church. So no live next week. Mark it on your calendars or don't. But anyway, love you guys. Remember, safety's off.